Golden State Media Concepts Sci-Fi Podcast. Together we dive into the world of sci-fi and science fiction. From episodes of Star Trek, Star Wars, to The Walking Dead, Resident Evil, all the hot new science fiction movies from the back doors of Marvel or DC. The Golden State Media Concepts Sci-Fi Podcast. You'll never look at science fiction the same way again.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Science Fiction Podcast. I'm Shay Northrup.
And I'm Pauline.
Today we've got a plethora of stories for you.
Ooh, plethora.
We're going to be talking about the Crow reboot that may or may not happen, probably not, hopefully. Prison Earth, the new Underworld movie, Blood Wars, Morgan, and a possible Firefly reboot that may or may not happen, probably not.
So these reboots are just in our heads. We're just
No. There's like, so the thing with The Crow, and
right.
we'll get started with The Crow because that's first on the agenda. So The Crow is a 1994 film based on the 1989 comic book series by James O'Barr. And it starred Brandon Lee. It was actually the last film Brandon Lee played in because he died during the making of the film.
Right.
Yeah, pretty sad.
That is actually really, really sad.
And so The Crow was a cult phenomenon. Everybody loved it. And they've been planning on doing a reboot of it since 2008. Now, since the first Crow was made, if you haven't seen The Crow, go out and watch it. It's a real treat. Basically, everything you ever wanted to say about the 90s in one movie. Like,
right.
It is definitely a grunge movie, and it's a real treat. So after they made that one, they made two others, Cities of Angels, which was supposed to be, I believe, a little bit closer to the original story in a lot of ways, but it's not a bad movie. But since The Crow was made, since the first Crow was made, it's not good.
Right, because you're comparing it.
You can't. Yeah, the original one is just so much better.
Right.
And then they did a couple other straight to video ones that have really bad, really bad reviews. I tried watching one of them once, and I normally it has to be bad for me to turn it off.
Right.
I've sat through some really bad stuff, mostly just so I can talk, trash about it later. But I had to turn it off. It was disturbing to me that they would tarnish such a great film. Anyway, so they've been talking about doing a reboot since 2008, and at one point they had said that they were casting Jason Momoa, yeah, from Game of Thrones, and he was also in the reboot of Conan the Barbarian. I really did not like the reboot of Conan Barbarian, but I feel like he's a perfect typecast for that type of thing.
He looks like him. I like it.
Now, when we hear that Jason Momoa is on board, a lot of us are kind of rolling our eyes because, there was a lot of people that have been attached to the film. So previously, just to list a few people that had been attached to the film, Bradley Cooper was supposed to be in it, Mark Wahlberg, James McAvery, Tom Hiddleston,
right.
Luke Evans, Norma Reedus, and Jack Hudson were all supposed to be in it at one point.
I can kind of see Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, I could see that too.
I can see him. I can see him playing that.
Some of these other guys I think would play good bad guys.
Okay,
I don't think Marky Mark would be a good replacement for Brandon Lee. I'm sorry. I love you, Mark. I think you're great, Marky Mark, but I do not see you as the Crow.
Me. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He doesn't really fit it.
I feel like I'd want to hug him and not be scared of him.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Tom. I can see that.
So this was something that, they were talking about in the past, and I don't think that any of those people are on board anymore. I think James Momoa may be on board, but it's, it seems unlikely because this has been delayed since 2008. I mean, it's been a minute, and we don't know how many more delays it's going to be in and go through, and they've been having production issues since 2008. And a lot of people, I know a lot of people don't want this to happen. I think it's one of those situations where the fandom of The Crow and all the people that love it would just rather see it left alone, because honestly, The Crow is a timeless classic in a lot of ways. They do say that if they do pull through with it, that it's supposed to be closer to the original source material. Okay, whatever.
That'd be kind of nice, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't actually read the original The Crow comic book, which it's something I've been putting off, honestly. And it sounds like Colin Hardy is also rumored to be in the director's chair. So I don't know, guys. Are you guys willing to give the reboot a chance? It looks like it's going to go into production this January, so it's possibly going to happen.
I want it to. I want to watch the original. And I want to watch this next one.
That's right, because you haven't seen the original.
Right, I haven't seen the original. I've seen the trailer, and it makes me... I kind of like those kind of like fantasy thriller type things. It doesn't look too scary, so I can deal with it. I don't watch a lot of horror.
You'll love the villain. The villain's probably the best part of that whole...
Right.
One of the best parts of the movie is the villain, because he's so sadistic. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
So I hope it does get rebooted. I think it'll be, because then people that aren't familiar with it, I kind of like it when movies get rebooted and then it makes you want to watch the original, and see that. So I think that might happen if this does follow through with a reboot.
I don't know. I'm kind of on the opposite end of that spectrum. I think some movies can be rebooted. Like, I mean, there are a couple films from the past that I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a reboot. Like, if they ever rebooted... If they ever rebooted Logan's Run, I think that would be kind of awesome. But honestly, like Total Recall didn't need to be rebooted. I think Total Recall was a classic.
Right.
And I don't think that The Crow should be rebooted. And, I don't know about the whole Ghostbusters thing. I didn't see it. So,
Didn't see it, didn't want to see it, wasn't planning on seeing it, not going to see it.
I plan on giving it a chance. I know the former host, Drew, said that he thought it was harmless and that it was a good,
right, yeah.
Send off. And some of the other people inside our station, I know the movie guys talked a little bit about it, and they said that they thought that some of them thought it was better.
Oh,
yeah. I didn't say it, so don't go after them.
Interesting. So, but in other news, since we can just jump off that Ghostbuster wagon before I get like... a
little heated.
Yes, exactly. So there's another movie that's set to come out that I am very excited to see. It's called Prison Earth, and it's actually right now being developed by the producer from Creed, so David Winkler. And there's not too much out about it right now. But basically, the premise is that Earth is actually... where aliens send criminals. Right.
Interesting.
So it's one of those things, like, I think I'm pretty excited about it because I want to see what they're going to say about Earth, And especially since, are we all just alien criminals living here? Are we, and there, so like I said, there hasn't been too much out about it other than that. Prison Earth is the prison.
They trying to say that we started as a prison?
Right, that's what I'm wondering.
Aliens?
And that we're just the outcasts from a better society.
I guess that would explain why we're all so messed up, right?
So there's supposed to be a graphic novel preceding it that's going to be out in 2017.
Okay.
And then this movie is set to be released in 2018. So we got to kind of wait a little bit.
Right.
To see and what this movie is going to be about. But I am actually interested in the novel. I really am.
Right. Well, you know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like the old British sending their criminals to Australia.
Right.
And that's been done a lot in film. Most notably from the movie from the early... Yeah, Escape from New York, the early 80s movie with Kurt Russell. That film is... really excellent, and then it's been done like a million times since. I think they did one where recently where people like send prisoners up to a space station. The guy has to go in. And, I'm trying to remember the name of that movie. Lockout's the name of the movie. And in the movie Lockout, so a man is wrongfully convicted of conspiracy and espionage against the U.S. So now he's offered freedom, and he has to go rescue the president's daughter from an outer space prison taken over by violent inmates. So that actually, the synopsis of that film is exactly the same as like taking, what's it called? Escape from New York and Escape from L.A. And you just mash the two movies together, and you've got that movie.
Lockout.
And, you know, I think it did pretty poorly. I think it was a flop. Well, 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb. So I guess that's not that bad. It could be worse. I didn't go see it. I didn't plan on going to see it because I never really wanted a Escape from New York reboot. I think that movie stands on its own pretty well. And people can say what they want about Escape from LA. I know it's cheesy, but it's one of my favorites.
Right.
So it looks like we're coming up on a break, and when we get back, we're going to talk to you guys about the new Underworld movie, Underworld Blood Wars. And then we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about Morgan. So stick around, and we'll get back to you.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now, don't bother, what's hot on Netflix, and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back. Just a reminder, in case you forgot, I'm Shay Northrup.
And I'm still Pauline.
And this is still the Golden State Media Concepts Science Fiction Podcast. Now let me lay it down on the line for you guys.
Lay it out.
A new movie is coming out in the theaters in 2017, pretty soon, coming up. So it's Underworld Blood Wars.
Yes.
Yay. Now, I don't really know how to
Is that a
feel
fake yay?
about this. I don't know how to feel about this. It's kind of in the middle. Like, I'm kind of sarcastic, but I'm kind of like, at the same time, this may or may not be a good thing.
Well, I'm excited about it because I like this kind of stuff. Like,
I like this kind of stuff too when it's not
action.
done wrong. So
okay, we'll take that.
I'm beginning to think that this year and the beginning of next year is going to be kind of like a because this movie's coming out in January, so that tells you a little something about it. Like, movies that come out in January, if you guys don't know, are usually not so good. Like, January is not a good month for movies. I know this. I was born in January, and for birthdays, instead of having parties, my dad would take me to the movies. And my choices were either The Leftovers from Christmas or something really cheesy and bad.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The best times for movies are June, July, August, and October is great if you're a horror fan.
Right, of course, because that's when all the scary movies come out, and that's when I stay away from the movie theater.
Right. So, Underworld Blood Wars, the trailer's been dropped, and Kate Beckinsale is back.
Yes, she is.
Now, I don't know if you've seen the other Underworld movies. Have you seen any of them?
I did see Rise of the Lycans, and I loved it. I watched it twice in the movie theater.
Wow.
I did.
So, I'm just going to say that it feels like the next couple months are going to be like the early 2000s all over again, because everyone was saying that like the summer was like the 80s all over again because of like Ghostbusters and all of that. But it seems like, so we've got what is it? We just talked about Resident Evil, the new one coming out, which, you know, the Resident Evil series started in the early 2000s.
Westworld.
And then Westworld, that's a movie from the 70s, but you're a couple decades early there.
Well, because I'm really excited about Westworld, because
Yeah,
I haven't
me too.
seen the 70s one, so I'm like, ooh, fun.
But Underworld's coming out as well, and the first Underworld movie came out in the early 2000s. And so the first Underworld movie is actually pretty good. If you watch it now, it's a little dated. I recommend it. The first two are on Netflix, so if you haven't seen them and you're looking for a good time, no alcohol required, I say go and check them out.
Right.
They're a lot of fun. They're a little campy at times, but they've also got that whole like gothic edge going on to them that I kind of enjoy.
I think I like it.
I think this one's going to maybe, hopefully, like finish everything. Now I know. So the first movie, they find out that there's a guy that can cross and be a vampire and a werewolf at the same time, and Kate Beckinsale's character falls in love with him, and then releases like the mega demon vampire guy and kills him. So then the next movie, the next mega demon vampire guy is supposed to come after her and her boy toy. And so they're running around in the second one, and in the end, they find like this great white wolf or something. I don't remember too much about the second one, to be perfectly honest. The third one, Rise of the Lycans, is a prequel, and it takes place during the original war between vampires and werewolves. So
I like it.
Originally, the werewolves were like the vampires' slaves, and then they kind of did like a rebel thing.
I
later
like vampire
on.
Movies.
Mostly, yes, so do I. As long as it's not like what happened in the mid to late 2000s, where it was the beautiful vampires that are all
fairies.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm not down with the fairies.
It was kind of a decent series. I have not seen number 4, but from what I understand, it wasn't great. Now, from what I understand about it, it came out in 2012, I believe, because I remember being in the movie theaters watching some movie with my girlfriend at the time and just being like, seeing the Underworld poster, and I'm like, why aren't we watching that?
Yeah.
Can we watch that? But we watched something else. And from what I understand, people are now aware of the existence of vampires and werewolves in that one. So there's kind of like an element where like the people are fighting the vampires and werewolves, while the vampires and werewolves are fighting each other. Like, it's kind of a interesting
twist
take on things. I haven't seen it. From what I understand, it's not really worth watching. So that's why I'm kind of like conflicted. Like, I haven't had a chance to see the fourth one. I would love to, but I just don't know where to look.
No, you have to do like where you like binge it all out, and you do
right. Well, I just watched the
them.
first Underworld recently. I just watched it like not even a week ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, when it came to Netflix, I was like, oh, I should watch these.
Yeah.
So, every time I tried to watch the third one, I fell asleep. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and it's just
and
it's
that's
not
the one I like.
It's not that I don't like it. I thought it was pretty cool. It's just one of those situations where every time that I've tried watching it, I've already been pretty tired.
Right.
And then I just like knock out, and then I wake up and it's over, and I'm like, darn it.
I did it again.
Yeah. So this one looks like it could be okay. It's got some of the cheese that the other ones do, but I'm kind of wondering, like, is that okay anymore? Like, we're in 2016. This isn't 2002 anymore. Like, can we still do the same thing and not laugh at it? Because it's almost become a trope in of itself where it's a laughable thing. Like, if you go back and watch these movies, they're not bad. They're fun, but they haven't aged well, you know? So I'm kind of wondering if that's going to be the thing.
They're gonna
Kate Beckinsale looks beautiful as ever, might I add.
She does. Like, she really does.
If you like I said, I just watched the first Underworld movie, and I remember being like, wow, she's so young. She looks so young and beautiful and all that stuff. Well, I'm watching the trailer for this one, and I'm like, she looks the same. Like, maybe Kate Beckinsale really is a vampire. Unfortunately,
she does look good.
You don't really see her in a whole lot anymore. Like, I haven't seen her in a terrible lot of movies in a while. That's a little unfortunate.
She does look really good.
Underworld Blood Wars is coming out in 2017 January. The January thing is what's really scaring me about this movie. I know that her boy toy isn't in the fourth one or the fifth one, so I don't know what they did or what they're going to do with his character. Now, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is going to be good? Do you think it's going to be bad? Is anybody really looking forward to this? Did we really need
another one?
Another installment to the series? Like, because what? This is 5? I think this is number 5.
So, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah, not every movie needs.
Yeah.
I think we were honestly good at 2. I didn't mind that there were 3, but I think that like it was kind of good where it was.
Right.
We'll see. I'll still go see it just because like I'll probably have nothing better to do with my time in January.
Well, I mean, I guess we can look forward to it since we already know everything else is going to be kind of boring at that time.
Yeah, I don't really know of anything good that's coming out in January. Nothing ever good comes out in January. It's really sad. Like sometimes, like I think Grand Budapest Hotel might have come out in January, which that was a good movie. But you know,
yeah. So, well, another good movie. Well, I'm anticipating it to be a skin movie. Shay, of course, is going to say otherwise, but is Morgan. And this is basically the premise of this story is that it's a humanoid created in a lab by a group of scientists. So it's actually going to be the debut of Luke Scott. He's going to be directing this movie, and he's the son of Ridley Scott, who did Blade Runner, Alien. So this is going to be like his son, but his dad is involved with this movie as well.
Yes, he's a producer, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And
he's
so
the one with all the contacts,
right? Yeah. So it's basically, and the way that Luke Scott described it is, it's this idea of human beings becoming the creator of themselves. So.
Right.
Which has, I know, been done before, but I like it. And I like that idea. And it's going to be starring an actress. Her name is Anya Taylor-Joy, who, I don't mean this like in a bad way at all, but she looks like what I would think like a humanoid would look like.
Right.
You know,
right.
kind of.
Well, and I've seen the trailer too.
Made.
And you know what it reminds me of? Did you ever see that movie Lucy?
Oh no, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it reminds me of Lucy. I didn't see it in its entirety.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, mm-hmm. Now I see what you're saying.
It reminds me of Lucy, and it reminds me of Splice. Like if you took Splice and Lucy and put them together, I feel like that would be what we're getting there. And that's kind of one of those things that's like, yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see it. I want to see it.
Right. Yeah, well, and you know, one of the things, I'm just kind of tired of the whole, we're building this new person. I've seen it a million times. I've seen it in indie films. I've seen it everywhere. And it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like...
Are you over it?
I'm a little bit over it. Like, and, you know, I'm probably still going to see it. Just
she
because...
looks cool. I think she looks really good in this movie. Other actors...
Even, like, have you seen Stranger Things?
Oh no!
It's a very similar, like in
Is it scary?
A way, a little bit.
That's why I haven't seen it. I don't watch scary movies.
It's a show on Netflix. Mm-hmm. It's actually like really good.
Netflix, okay, I will give it to Netflix. Netflix is doing a really good job.
Oh yeah, they're killing it.
I love my
So another person
Netflix.
that's going to be in the film is Anna Kendrick, and this is kind of a different part for her. Normally we see her in kind of like ditzy roles, you know, like kind of. Like Pitch Perfect 2. She's in Into the Woods. So it'll be kind of interesting to see her in something a little bit more scary oriented. Yeah,
to kind of change up her style.
Right.
Which would be kind of good.
Based on the trailer. So I just want to say, like, based on the trailer, from a filmmaking standpoint, like, it looks like they turned the opacity down by 25%. So, like, they cranked up the darkness.
And everything
like,
is pretty dark and shadowed.
And I'm just...
to add to that undertone.
Right. I
darkness.
Guess. We'll see how it is, and it seems like she's getting like, and she enjoys killing people, and she enjoys
she's
like
gonna turn, of course.
Right,
she has to turn.
But I'm also kind of tired of the whole. Like, it looks like she has psychic abilities.
Yeah, she does. Really she's like supposed to be like, I guess, like she has the psychic abilities, and she's able to use her mind, like forces and things like that.
Have you ever seen that? I think it's late '70s, early '80s movie, Firestarter.
Mm-mm.
It's by Stephen King. It reminds me a lot of that. So in Firestarter, it's this guy who I think the dad has some psychic abilities, but then the little girl can light things on fire.
Oh, okay.
And I guess her mom was a special too. And so they get captured in government testing. And so ever since then, we've gotten a lot of movies about, you know, little kids being tested on and little humanoid things being created. And I think Splice was actually a really interesting one, even though like a lot of people don't like it and it's not particularly good. It's just interesting. Like, I found the movie really interesting, and this is kind of a similar setup. So we'll see how it is. I'll give it a try. Like, and you know, being Ridley Scott, you said,
right?
Ridley Scott's kid. Sure. I mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be kind of cool. I'm interested to see, because it's supposed to be more like on the action side too, and that's the part that I like.
Yeah.
So I want to see how what she's gonna do. I
just hope she doesn't become God.
No, she's probably gonna die. They're gonna destroy her. Because
like I think at the end of like Lucy, she basically becomes a god. Like at the end of the movie, like,
they're gonna need to destroy her.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can only hope.
Gets destroyed, and then they're gonna be like, "We'll never do this again."
Hopefully, it's not a flop.
Yeah,
I mean, ultimately.
So, I mean, the trailer looked good to me. If you're like Shay and you've seen it done a billion times, I mean, I pretend. that I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, yeah. Well, and you're pretty good about picking up on like how things are going to end, right? Like I know you've done it in the past. So it looks like we're coming up on a break. I'm going to give it a try. I know Pauline says she's excited about it. I'm a little skeptical, but we'll see. But we're coming up on a break. And when we get back, we're going to talk to you about the possible Firefly reboot. Don't get your hopes up too high, folks.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the Golden State Media Concepts Science Fiction Podcast. Again, I am Shay Northrup.
And I'm always going to be Pauline.
Yes, always. And so, something that I stumbled across in my recent studies while scouring for more information about science fiction. Now, I'm going to list my source here because this may be a hoax. I'm not 100% sure. I trust the source.
Right.
But I haven't found anything else about this anywhere else.
And there's one actress in it that I'm going to mention when you bring her up that makes me kind of like, ooh.
Maybe this isn't a thing, right?
Right.
So this is from sciencefiction.com, so don't crucify me if this doesn't happen. And actually, you might not want to crucify me after you've heard what I'm about to tell you.
Exactly. Let them have it.
So this is from sciencefiction.com. So Firefly Reboot transforms onto the small screen. So if you're not familiar with Firefly, what are you doing with your life? This is an amazing show. Go watch it. Firefly is a space western TV show that was out in 2002. Now, when it first came out, it didn't do so well, wasn't so critically acclaimed, and it only lasted for like a season. I guess it was really expensive to shoot, too.
Oh, wow.
And so it just kind of faded out. Like it ended in the first season kind of like in a really weird spot where it was like, okay, well,
right.
Now, if you haven't seen the show, I highly recommend you skip the first episode, watch it, and then go back to the first episode so you can appreciate it. When I watched the pilot, I was not impressed. And then I went back and then I went forward and realized, oh my God, this show is amazing. Now, it's kind of an interesting take on the Civil War, to be perfectly honest. And after a while, after the ball started rolling, after the shows stopped, and it actually came up on Netflix, people started to realize, oh my God, this is an amazing show. Like, oh wow, like why did this get canceled? And you know, like people have been like crying that they want it to come back. People have been crying that they want a reboot. People, and you know, so this is a Joss Whedon show, so you know it's good. You know, the guy who did the Avengers and the guy who did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Cabin in the Woods. Like Joss Whedon is the man. Now, Fox has stated, according to this article, that Whedon is not going to join up and that he could not be contacted before publication of this article. So we're just kind of like speculating on what's going on.
And that's kind of like red flag number 1 for me.
Yeah. So Joss Whedon isn't involved. And so.
And he has nothing to say. We can't get a hold of him.
Yeah. Well, Fox has said that since Joss Whedon wasn't going to be available, and I quote, since Joss Whedon wasn't available, we wanted to make sure we had someone with a lot of experience rebooting beloved franchises. Okay, I'm going to get heated here. In order to ensure that the new Firefly is the highest quality possible, end quote. This is from Fox.
Okay. Shay.
Okay. This is the person who they think is going to bring them the best quality possible for this legendary show.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do you know who I'm going to say right now?
Yes. Let them know. Let them know.
You guys are going to... We should burn down Fox for this. Michael Bay. They're bringing in Michael Bay. So the guy responsible for the Bayformers, the guy responsible for the Bay Turtles, and the guy who has rebooted countless of amazing classic horror films. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but he has a producer role on the terrible, awful reboots of a lot of the classic horror films that I love. He loves to dip his fingers in the things that I love and just ruin them.
Shay is really having a problem with that.
And now he's coming after Firefly. I am praying to the maker
that this is not
not real, that this is just wrong. So, according to Bay, Michael Bay himself, and I quote, "More than anything, we want to do justice to Joss's original version of the show. Obviously, no one can recreate Joss Whedon's show just like Joss, but we think that the talent we're going to bring to the table will be able to create something nearly as good," end quote. Nearly as good. Nearly as good. Do you hear this man? You know how you can
hit them with the actors. Hit them with the actors, because this is classic.
I'm coming to that. Just hold your horses there, Pauline.
Because I'm like, no.
You want to know how you can do good by them, Mr. Bay? Do you want to know how you can do good by the franchise? How about you drop it?
Just leave it alone.
How about you just leave it alone? Because the franchise on its own is good. I don't think that we need to, unless we're getting the original cast back, we're not going to be getting a good show out of this unless maybe it's a spinoff, which is not going to be a spinoff, apparently. Apparently this is going to be taking place So here are a couple of the actors that with no announcements have been made about who's going to be in the cast, and rumors have surfaced that several actors who have worked with Bay in the past might be brought on to the new show.
Right.
This is kind of a maybe, up in the air. Hopefully not. I'm hoping this article is bogus. Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping it's just like a haha, gotcha.
So Megan Fox as Kaylee Fry. Cute little Kaylee, played by Megan Fox. Megan Fox is not a good actress. I mean, she's something to look at, that's for sure. She's definitely a spectacle, but she is not a good actress. Like, I mean, Transformers, and then what she did with... Okay, so the biggest sin that Megan Fox has ever done, and I'm going to probably gripe about this a lot in the future, guys, so I apologize. The Bay Turtles. Megan Fox played Amy, the reporter. Mm-hmm. So Amy the reporter is supposed to be a strong woman who's not afraid to go and get the action, but instead we got... Okay, so if you watch the Bay Turtles movie, she comes off crazy. Mm-hmm. Anytime anyone's listening to her talk about anything, like, people just like they think she's crazy. She sounds crazy. If Megan Fox came up to me and was telling me about giant turtles, I would think she's crazy. There's like the original Amy, and in the show and in the movie, the old movies and everything, like, she never came off crazy. Right. Anyway, so Shia LaBeouf is Malcolm Reynolds. So big, tough, basically our Han Solo, Malcolm Reynolds, is going to be played by Shia LaBeouf. Now,
this has to be a joke article.
Don't get me wrong. I love Shia LaBeouf.
Me too. I love everything, but
he's not Malcolm Reynolds. Mm-hmm. And there have been some whispers that Amy Schumer might be considered for...
and that's when I was like,
it is
what?
Well.
That pushed the envelope for me. That was too much.
Now, I really don't like Amy Schumer. I'm not going to lie. Nothing against her personally. I just don't find her work funny. I thought Trainwreck was just that, a train wreck. She's a joke stealer, and I really don't think she's that funny. And I honestly think that if they put her in this, it would ruin it. Like, let's forget Michael Bay is in charge, but I do not think Amy Schumer would be a good fit, and that's a rumor. So...
I don't,
Yeah, so...
it has to be a joke article.
I don't know. This is one of those things where, you know, they said the new Firefly Reboot is currently stated for release in either late 2016 or early 2017. So it is September 8th. I really doubt that it's going to be coming out anytime soon. I'm kind of hoping that this is a hoax, but this is on the sciencefiction.com website. Like, this is something that,
it's credible.
Kind of credible, like,
but
kind of.
Amy.
So I don't know. I don't think that this is going to be an actual thing. I really hope it doesn't become an actual thing. I haven't heard anything else about it. Like, there's nothing else about this anywhere. So hopefully Michael Bay does not get this. Hopefully Megan Fox will not be playing Kaylee. And hopefully Shia LaBeouf will not be Malcolm Reynolds. And hopefully Amy Schumer never comes anywhere near the Firefly franchise. I'm kind of hoping that maybe, like, if it gets enough backlash, people will, leave it alone.
Just let it be.
Yep, let it be.
It's on Netflix, correct?
Yes, Firefly is on Netflix.
Rewatching it
and
on there.
There's the movie that kind of wraps everything up, Serenity, that came out in 2005. Serenity is actually a pretty good wrap up for the show. Like, honestly, I don't have a problem with Serenity. I think it ended in a good note. I think it's good. I don't want anything to come out to ruin Firefly, and I feel like if Bay got a hold of it, you might as well just torch the original Firefly.
Yeah.
So that is all the time we have for the show, ladies and gentlemen. I have been Shane Northrup.
And I'm still and always will be Pauline.
And why don't you wrap us up?
And so you can, of course, listen to this episode, any previous or future episodes on our network website, gsmcpodcast.com.
I promise they're good.
As well as, we have a lot on there. We have a variety of shows.
Oh, we also do TV, so you should listen to that as well.
And then, of course, you can listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher.
And this has been the Golden State Media Concepts Science Fiction Podcast, and stay saucy.
Saucy.